The Barcelona Grand Prix started off with a little bit of a twist. For the past two races, we have had the C6 tire compounds, which is the softest tires Pirelli has to offer. However, for this race, we brought in the other side of the spectrum, C1, C2, and C3 tires. This means that the grip with the C1 tires is basically non-existent, and a lot of the teams have been struggling to use them, especially when it comes to turn 10, where downforce meets heavy braking. The first free practice was a little bit more chaotic than the other ones. We had two reserve drivers who took part of this session, Victor Martins for Williams and Hirakawa for Haas. Hirakawa actually struggled at turn 10 and went off into the gravel. Jack Doohan wasn't even on track, however he did get a little bit of TV time when his picture showed up instead of Franco Colapinto's when he was driving the car. Speaking of Franco, his day ended early due to hydraulic issues with his car and he wasn't able to do a fast lap with his soft tires. Alonso is another driver that was struggling a lot with his car and he was voicing his concerns on the radio, and this is not how we want the Spanish Grand Prix to go for him. A surprising outcome from this session was the difference between the two McLarens because Lando Norris came out P1 and Oscar Piastri P5 with more than half a second between them. In free practice 2, we saw Oliver Behrman spin at turn 3 and Bortoleto going off track at turn 10, which is a place we have to pay a lot of attention to during the qualifying session. And Oscar Piastri redeemed himself from the previous session and took P1 for himself. In free practice 3, we saw Lando Norris going off track and the Saubers closing in on Max Verstappen with only 0.3 difference to him, which for a Sauber is incredibly good. On the other hand, a team that is surprisingly struggling a lot is Williams, because they are barely showing up on the timesheet and Albon was actually only able to do 5 laps in free practice 3 before he had to go back into the garage and fix his car. Because of the change in regulations, this is a track where everyone thought the other teams would close the gap to the McLarens. However, this has not been happening and the McLarens are still half a second clear from every other team on the grid. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a 1-2 McLaren unless something surprising happens this weekend. Make sure to give me a follow for more race content and I'll see you after quali.